Hello and welcome to the Marvel Plus podcast, the show where we talk all Marvel shows on Disney Plus and how they connect to the MCU. All right, my name is Brett, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every Sunday, at 8 p.m. Eastern, and chat along with us and theorize if you're a subscriber over there. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK, and go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next day at 12 noon Eastern where it's posted. You can listen to it there, watch it, let us know in the comments what you think of the episode as well, and we'll wrap it in the next week and continue our conversation. But let's get into it. We got episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Star Spangled Man. So we got a lot of focus on our new Captain America this week, it seems. We open up the episode with a lot of backstory on John Walker and his military accolades, and also kind of like how he's dealing with becoming Captain America, or being the next Captain America, rather. I think it was a smart move to start to kind of get us a little bit, obviously, of the back info or some profile on this guy that just kind of popped in at the end of last episode, donning the costume and holding the shield. So they kind of wanted to ease us in and give us that almost a sentimental, like, oh, okay, I understand where this guy's coming from type of vibe. So solid opening. After that, we get the little introduction, obviously. We go back over to Bucky, who's kind of taking it hard, seeing the pep rally, I guess you could call it. The pep rally with Cap there and the little Good Morning America interview. So yeah, obviously he's taking it hard. And he's going over to Falcon after Falcon's going on a mission to deal with flag smashers, and kind of obviously voices his disgruntlement, how he's upset. I did notice as we were getting this intro part with John Walker, we do have an updated costume for Cap, faux Cap, I'll call him, faux Cap, where he it resembles more of his U.S. agent costume like we talked about last week, how he's involved in the comics. Similar, he's got those horizontal stripes that are red, and the whole overall get up and suit seem to resemble that more. So I do appreciate that they'll do these little nods, as you know the MCU has done throughout their movies, however long these have been going, 10 plus years. And we'll get some more in this episode too, of little nods and references towards things. So I just thought that was neat and nice. One other thing I did notice about his costume I thought was very odd. So he's got the American flag on his shoulders, right? I don't know if this was just me, but on his right shoulder, the flag is backwards. Wouldn't that be a problem? Like, I don't know. That just seemed off to me. I know you're trying to, like, keep it mirror image or whatever, but that was odd instead of just flipping it the normal way. So yeah, once again, they're going through his merits of like his military accolades and whatnot, and then we see him actually throwing the shield and doing some training with that and doing it quite well. So I guess I don't know, it must be not easy, but I guess you could pick it up pretty quick. I don't know how heavy that shield is, but guy's been working out. I mean, military man, obviously, of course, has to fit some requirements there. So interesting to see that right off the bat, and we'll see more of that later as the episode continues. So getting back on track, like I said, Bucky is very upset with this, and he confronts Falcon as he's heading out to a mission. And then at this military base, or wherever Falcon's kind of flying out of, there's like Captain America posters everywhere. So this is just propaganda central. We talked about it last week, how like I'm guessing they felt the need to assign a new Cap almost as a figurehead, or just to kind of way to keep the peace, or kind of have that symbol of something to look at. I don't know why like the Avengers can't be that symbol, if that makes sense. Like, is it just because we looked so highly up to like Tony and Cap? Like, is that the case? Like, we just don't have that level of respect for the other members of the team? It was interesting. I got a comment from Papa Griff coming in here. Flag is correct. He looked it up. We had a military friend who told us about that as well, so he fact checked that. So that's okay. All right, so nothing fishy with the flag. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So yeah, we got that. We got the posters everywhere. As Bucky's kind of confronting Falcon, Falcon mentions that he's got more info and intel on Flag Smashers and how to deal with them, and Red Wing has been keeping surveillance on them or has found this camp. My only question there is like, okay, Red Wing's independent, or like they keep, like, I get it that you want to give it a little bit of a character, the drone, but like, wouldn't that have to be piloted still? So anyways, Red Wing has found this thing, so we're still giving Red Wing a little bit more attention than obviously that little cameo in Civil War. So cool for that. We get some jokes. We get the big three, which I joked about being LeBron, but it's android, wizards, and aliens. All things obviously have come to fruition in the recent years for these guys, and relatively quick. So worried about that. So Bucky's very distraught. Still wants to talk to Falcon. Decides, okay, fuck it, I'm going to go on this mission with you and deal with this as well. Dropship. Obviously, Falcon's got his wings when they're going to jump into Munich to go after this Flag Smasher area. And then, obviously, no parachute for Bucky. So what does Bucky do? He jumps. Like, it was a low-flying plane. Luckily, also, obviously, the super soldier serum will help him as well. And he does this dramatic, obviously, rip-off of the jacket to reveal his arm. Woohoo. And he tries aiming for it. Didn't really aim too super well because that man landed flat on his back. So that was interesting. This whole exchange, this whole time of them in Munich trying to stealth up to the Flag Smashers to kind of learn what they're stealing, what they're doing. Falcon seems very jokey and, like, just quippy. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's very nonchalant and very unserious. I don't know if that really even goes together. But he's joking around the whole time, and Bucky's just not having it. So we get that. We get a White Wolf call out. We talked about that last week, wondering if Bucky's going to, with him going through this therapy session, like change of character, if he'll come out of this, the White Wolf character, and he'll fully embrace that, or if he's just going to be himself. So just thought that was nice. We got the little call out for that. And we see that the Flag Smashers are stealing medicine and putting it in these trucks. There's 7 or so of them, and then they have an 8th, which is a hostage, or at least appears to be a hostage, in the trucks. Bucky jumps on it quick once they start taking off, goes past the first truck, goes into the second truck through the back to get to the hostage, finds out it's this medicine that they're stealing also. Finds the hostage, turns out it's actually one of the members. Smaller girl, I thought it was a kid, but it's not. So we got that. So she kicks Bucky out. There's a whole fight. I thought it was interesting that once he broke into the first truck, or the second truck, like the first truck right behind, like didn't give 2 shits that he was breaking in. Like they didn't even seem to attempt to do anything. I thought that was odd, but obviously everything hits the fan, and the guys are trying to fight off the Flag Smasher recruits there. Does not go well for our guys. Just the chemistry is not there for whatever reason. Everything seems to be going south. Take a couple hits, and who will show up? We get Faux Cap showing up with his friend who we got introduced at the beginning, which I didn't realize actually was doing like missions with him. So we get them showing up and actually helping quite a bit. I noted here there's a lot of dysfunction between obviously Falcon and Winter Soldier compared to the new guys. So I was wondering if maybe this was like, maybe the Chopper was filming and it was going to be like a PR thing, like, oh, look at how great these guys are, they're doing great, and the Avengers are doing shitty. Doesn't turn out that way. I just thought it was really odd that, like, oh, these guys are doing super well and, you know, taking care of business. So during this fight, Jeff Rigg actually called it out last week. with not the Patriot, the U.S. agent character, that he has used a gun in the comics. We get evidence of the gun here. He's using that during the fight, which, I mean, obviously makes sense. He doesn't have superpowers, military background, once again. So he's got the pistol that he's using, and he's used the shield smartly and wisely as well. Uses it to save his friend after his friend gets punched off the truck. So we see that. The fight goes well until it doesn't, and everybody gets knocked off the truck. Interesting, like, that Focap and his friend aren't, like, hurt more by getting punched by these super soldier flag smasher characters. Thought that was odd a little bit. But we might have a hint towards why that might be later on. But during this fight, obviously things go south. Everybody's out. So we get that. At one point, one of the flag smashers gets really injured, I noticed. And kind of starts, I don't know if he was like coughing or he seemed really in pain. So I'm curious if the medicine that they were stealing in these trucks is possibly like super soldier serum that they are taking for themselves. Like they're stealing that just to kind of almost like a steroid boost themselves and do their thing. So I'm wondering if that's the case, and maybe it's like a temporary serum, or it's obviously not as effective as the original serum was for Steve and for Bucky. Wondering if that's the case. We'll have yet to see. We still have to see what the case is with them. So they get away. We get the attempt of Faux Captain and friend making friends with Falcon and Winter Soldier, saying this would be a good move if they see all four of us together. You know, everybody would be really behind it, and we can work together and hopefully make things going on, or, you know, better, more successful. While they're doing this little chat, I was wondering who Hoskins was. There's another character in the Marvel Comics universe called Patriot, and I only know of him really from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. He's worked with Cap. He's been a sidekick. So I was wondering if it was him. Turns out he shouts out the name Battlestar, which I did a little research after watching the episode, is another Marvel Comics character that has, once again, allied with Cap. I don't know if he's specifically allied with, like, Steve Rogers' Cap or the U.S. agent like we're doing in the show. I think it was Steve Rogers' Cap, but I thought that was, once again, just a nice nod, nice little reference of like, hey, this is a thing that we can use. Doesn't have to be that big of a deal. Here it is. Like, he's not a main, fully fledged out character, like, that mainstream audiences are going to go crazy about. So, like, why not? Just, whoop, you know, something different. Thought it was cool. Just nice that they threw that out there. So Falcon and Winter Soldier chat with them for a little bit, turn them down, like, nah, they're just not having it. They're not happy with how, obviously, events have transpired with the shield being transferred to Faux Captain, which, you know, I get it. Cutting away from this, we go back to the Flag Smashers, and we see that they kind of rendezvous at this hideout spot that one of their supporters has allowed them to use their home, to use as kind of refuge. As they get there, there's like computers, there's rest area, there's food, whatever. One of their persons must be very tech savvy and notices, hey, we're being tracked down. We see the evidence, or we get revealed who we think the leader's name is, Carly Morgenthau. This one I did not look up, to be honest, so I don't know if there's any connections with the comic universe. Maybe one of you guys in chat know, or somebody who's watching can comment it down below. I don't know if there's a tie-in here, but we get obviously the reveal of that. As well as this reveal, we also get a text message, I think to Carly herself, about somebody chasing after them. Mrs. G brings that up right now. Who's after them? So there's a bigger evil, or somebody they stole from, that this is a problem. Now, my theory is two things. Originally, I was like, is it Zemo? Because we hadn't seen Zemo at this point. We know he's in the series. He's going to be a big deal. I was thinking maybe it's him. Second theory was Hydra. Now, I know technically Zemo has the ties to Hydra, blah, blah, blah. I was wondering if it's someone else tied with Hydra that they maybe specifically stole from. So is this a third party that's, obviously Flag Smashers being a third party, just doing their own thing, making it, what was their little saying? One world, one people. Trying to make things better, better, as they think, when the blip happened. So interesting, we're going to have to see how this plays out, how it's a three-way dance now, obviously, instead of just the deal with this issue. So yeah, we get that going on. After this mission, failed mission, Bucky really wants the shield back, continues saying it, and he wants to steal it back. Falcon mentions how that wasn't a good thing, and kind of we get a callback to, I think, post-Civil War, maybe it was a different time, and I'm mixing up timelines, of like how Sharon got outed and is like exiled for helping him and Cap get the shield back the first time. So a little call out to her. We'll see her eventually in this series also, but I just thought that was nice that we kind of name dropped that and got a little info of like, I don't know about that plan. Then Bucky says that Falcon needs to meet somebody important. This Isaiah character. Okay, so we'll go to this house. We're meeting Isaiah. Turns out it's a Korean War vet. As he's being introduced as this, I was wondering if this was maybe one of Bucky's, things he was ashamed about, like that he was trying to right his wrongs. So I was wondering if maybe that was the relationship there. Kind of seems that way, but also not really, because Isaiah's very tense in this situation, does not want Bucky or Falcon around. Turns out that Isaiah has battled against Bucky in the Korean War and was injected with the super soldier serum. So he is also a super soldier. And they're just popping up everywhere. But he has, it seems like a good dose because it's still working. The age thing might not have obviously taken effect. We're kind of in this weird area because Cap, once Endgame ends and he lives his life out with Peggy, does age. Maybe it's just like the history that we know from like being frozen into ice, and then the span of the movies obviously leading up to Endgame and Endgame itself. Like, it was only a few years, so obviously you wouldn't change that much. So maybe like the aging thing isn't that big of a deal. Maybe they still age normal. I don't know. But obviously he has the serum. And he's really upset and hiding, and apparently had a very rough life post-military, unfortunately. So I'm very curious as to, obviously Bucky's opening up to Sam to be like, here's my shit, let's try and work on this. Now that's the big question, is like, how is this Isaiah character important, and like, where does he fit into this? Because obviously they're trying to hunt down like who's making the serum, who has it, whatever it is. I don't understand how Isaiah would know, unless maybe it's just like farther down, obviously Bucky's timeline from being frozen, of like, he got it from this source. Maybe that source has a connection to somewhere else. I don't know. But obviously this character will be important, or else why did we introduce him? Kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that ties in. We get in some trouble with the cops then. Obviously them bickering at each other outside in the suburbs starts it, but then it turns out Bucky has missed a therapy session and now has to go to jail. Gets bailed out. Oh boy, faux Captain America's here again. We go through our therapy session. Now during this, it actually seems like Bucky's kind of trying to open up. Now I know they're bickering at each other. I know they do the little Sidarian contest thing, and we have some laughs with that. But when Bucky does talk and finally do that soul-searching technique, I'm not sure if that was the right name of it, he seems like he's really opening up and trying to be honest with Sam. But Falcon's just like shutting it down, does not want any part of it, and is not reciprocating at all. At least that's how I took it. Maybe it was standoff, and I was just reading it wrong. Like, I don't know. it seemed like Bucky was putting in the effort there. Falcon's just frustrated, leaves. Bucky's frustrated after, he leaves. He asks the therapist before he leaves what rule number 2 was again, which is not hurt anybody. So he's kind of getting to that point where he's like, I don't know about these rules kind of thing. It seems like he's got the motivation like, I need to hurt somebody. He's got some pent-up aggression, obviously. So now we get Cap waiting outside, faux Cap, and Battlestar waiting by the cop car. They talk it out a little bit more, how they have some information about maybe a base, but there's a lot of them, and they're trying to narrow it down. Falcon and Winter Soldier still don't want any part of it, and faux Cap becomes really aggressive at this point, and kind of turns into a jerk, like Mrs. G said up above. Starts off cool. You want to feel some sympathy for the guy or relate a little bit, root him on with that intro, but by the end of this, like, man, he is just coming off like a dick. So we're split off. They're doing their thing, we're doing our thing. Sure, that's going to be another conflict of interest as we continue these episodes and try and fix this problem. So there's that. The guys continue to talk about what their next plan or what their next step is. And it's to go find some more information about Hydra to see if they still have, obviously, some remnants there or if the serum's from them. And they're going to go talk to Zemo, who we finally get introduced or reintroduced to, who is apparently locked up in somewhere in Europe. It might be Germany. I might be mistaken about that. And he's in his cell. So we'll get him involved. So there are a lot of moving pieces in this show. We got Bucky and Soldier. We got Cap and Battlestar. We got the Flag Smashers. We got whoever's texting the Flag Smashers upset with them. And eventually we got Zemo. Because Zemo, we know. He's going to get out. We know he's got the mask, and that's going to come into play. He can't just sit there. Is Zemo the person texting that's upset? Is just the contact? I don't know. So yeah. Mrs. G brings up, we thought it was the old guy they were going to see. Don't remember this guy they're going to see. So they already went to Isaiah pre the therapy session. They tried talking to him. Didn't really go super well. After that, Bucky brings up, I think it was 2 options. I don't remember super well what those 2 options were. But he names, I think he said Hydra as one. And Zemo is connected to Hydra because he brings up something in the Arctic. So these are references back to Civil War. If you remember Civil War, obviously Cap and Bucky are trying to prove he's innocent in killing King T'Chaka. Is it King T'Chaka? Yeah. Black Panther's dad and the whole thing there. Iron Man is upset and, goes to help because he realized he was wrong when they did the whole airport scene fight. Yeah, okay. They go to this like winter base thing that had like super big super soldiers and like these test tube jar things. Yeah, the one that was reading the codes and reading them. Exactly. He goes there, tries to wake up the super soldiers, and they stop him there, and then Iron Man and Cap fight, and it's like, and then he leaves the shield, and we're all crying at the end, So that's what they're referring to. So there was that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all these different elements of like teams collide, like who's working with who's going to backstab who, etc. We talked about the legitimacy of faux Cap, like is he actually trying to do good? Is he a Hydra thing? Is it this? Is it that? I'm leaning a little bit more towards the bad Cap maybe being Hydra. I think that'd be a cool twist on a recent comic arc where Captain America was part of Hydra. You could, take that element of the comic and put it with him and then go from there. I don't know if that's the route they're going to go, or maybe he's just really determined, like, I need to do well. Like, this is a big, important step. I'm maybe not going about this the right way. Like, I've been trying to be nice. Now it's like, I need to not be angry for you to hear me, but like be a little bit more forward. Iffy. I don't know. Yes, we also did the cops, get the cops being, profiling Falcon just for obviously his skin color and the dispute. Oh, is he bothering you, sir? No, we're just talking. Like, fuck off. So yes, we get that, which, sucks to see, but obviously this is taking that storytelling and, mixing those elements of real life, and here it is. And then, of course, everything's fine. Oh, you're the Falcon. I didn't recognize you with the suit. Blah, blah, blah. No, like, yeah, we get it. So, yes, that was definitely sketchy. I get it, why they did it. Unfortunate that we need to see, like, heroes still deal with this stuff. Shitty. But I think it makes the characters more relatable to, the black audience. Like, hey, this guy's got problems too. This is, like, I need to support this guy. I know it's a fictional character, but still. You get the relating. You can relate with the character. I think that's what they were going for. So, yeah, we got that. Question from earlier. White Wolf is good, right? Yes. White Wolf was the nickname that Black Panther gave to Winter Soldier post-Civil War. So at the end of Civil War, Panther takes Soldier to kind of help him with his brainwashing thing. He's kind of camping out there, and we see him again in Infinity War, where he's kind of in the little hut, and he's got the really long hair, and he's just hanging out, and then he gets the new arm from Black Panther. So yes, White Wolf is that. I think that was everything from everybody. Bucky needs to pound somebody. Yeah, for sure. He's he's got a lot of pent-up emotion, for sure. But yeah, I mean, interesting episode. Obviously, we had a lot going on. Once again, it's going to be interesting to see how all these different teams or factors into this problem, how they factor in, once again, who's working with who, what twists are we going to see. We still got 4 episodes left. I like how the ball is rolling. It's not like tiptoeing around, like we're going into it. It's going to be interesting to see also how helpful Zemo is. Is it just going to be like they showed the chessboard in there. Is it just going to be a game of chess where like they try and get info, but he's kind of sneaky about it, doesn't really come out forward and say it, like. And then also, how does he break out? How does he get out if Flag Smashers aren't working with him, which I thought personally originally, because the mask at least has a similar shape and look to it, minus the handprint. But yeah, if they're not working together, how does he get out? And then obviously, like I said, we got the call out of Sharon in this episode. When and where is she going to pop up? And get involved. So yeah, good episode of the Falcon Winter Soldier. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are enjoying the series overall, or in for the ride. Excited to talk more about it with you guys next week and see where these dots connect from obviously this episode and episode 1, and see how the story continues. R.I.P. Red Wing. Will we see him in other episodes? Is he going to get repaired? I don't know. He just clean knee break, Yeah. They had some comic relief for the staring contest. Yeah, I do like how they are having this. They made the joke of like the being married to each other too, like that back and forth. I kind of wish Bucky was a little bit more snappy with his comebacks. Like, he seems like he's real serious and real angry. Like, I wish he kind of jabbed a little bit back more at Falcon. Falcon seems really jokey on his end, and he's gotten some. Like, he wanted to break Red Wing and all this stuff. And yeah, I know he's teasing about that. He didn't want to actually do it, but I don't know. I feel they got a good dynamic. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes from these 4 episodes. Let's see. I thought the doctor wasn't going to say this. Going to say this wasn't a pissing contest. Right. But yeah, I guess there's no therapy sessions, so maybe we're not going to have to deal with that until obviously post the show or whatever. Yeah. So that was episode 2 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, like I said, I hope you guys are enjoying the show, enjoying the series so far. If you got any theories or comments that you think about afterwards, feel free to put them in the comments section down below, and we'll chat about them next week. But appreciate you guys tuning in to the Marvel Plus podcast, talking all things Disney Plus and Marvel, and how it connects to this crazy universe and cinematic journey that we're on. My name is Brett, aka Enigma9011. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. And remember, you guys, catch the podcast live if you want to over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about the show, talk our theories, things like that. If you can't catch it live, that's A-okay. It's put on YouTube and podcast services the very next day at 12 noon Eastern. You can check it over there. Subscribe, give us a like, give us a review, whatever you can to help support the show. Let us know how we're doing. It'd be greatly appreciated. I appreciate everybody tuning in and listening, watching. Viewers, I will catch you guys next week.